Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Triforce podcast. That's right.
We're back.
I thought this week, Sips, Pyrian, since we've been such like negative Nancys, someone said to me, they were like, well, I feel like we have
negative.
Negative Nancys. Yeah, we're grumpy old men. We complain about everything. We do like negative shout outs. We used to do
when did we
some
do that?
positive shout outs.
We do
when
quite
did
a
we
bit
do
of
that?
negativity.
Well, I just think we should try and be positive this
All
episode,
right,
okay?
Yeah, that's fair.
Give it a try. Let's just see how it feels.
Okay, fine.
Try it on for size.
All right.
Maybe you'll like it.
All right, no, that's good. I like that.
Things we like this Yorkshire tea biscuit brew that I couldn't do without. This isn't sponsored.
Ad. Oh, sorry.
Well, no. Thing is,
hashtag
it feels. Sometimes as a content creator, I don't know whether you get this. It feels like if you like something, you're kind of hoping secretly that they'll promote you at some point.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Why do you think I drink Thatcher's on street? It's because I'm praying for a sponsorship.
Well, they did take us around the Thatcher's factory though, and gave you a special tour, so that worked out. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes this does work out if you shout about. Not that I want free stuff.
Okay.
But my Bose headphones are getting a bit old, and I've enjoyed them. I've used them a lot. They've stood the test of time.
So we're transitioning from negativity to just shilling is what you want us to beg for freebies now.
I was thinking about this yesterday because I usually go for lunch either in the St. Nick's Market and get something or bring something in sometimes from home, or sometimes I go to Sainsbury's and just get something, right? And yesterday I went and got like a plastic tub of soup, right? And I had some tomato soup for lunch, and it just felt like part of me was like, oh no, I've used this like single-use plastic, right? I think over time. And the other day, I ordered from a nice
hold on a
takeaway
sec.
place.
Am I going mad here, or has this conversation veered wildly between like five different topics? I don't even know what your point is in any of this. You're talking about lunch. You're talking about single-use plastics. You're talking about products you like. The headphones. What's happening?
Lewis is dabbling in Class A's.
I've just woken up. I
can't follow this.
I ordered a takeaway the other day. And it was just there was so much plastic in it, and it wasn't really even like reusable plastic.
Right.
But I was just like, I don't want to do this.
So what did you do about it?
So instead, we went to the restaurant the next time instead, right? So it was like, we just actually was like, let's just not order from this place. Let's just go there. And then at least we're not wasting plastic, which feels like a weird decision, but it was the same thing with this soup. I felt bad wasting this plastic, right? Because I guess my normal lunch is not that. And that's the world we live in, right? But also, everything is so disposable, okay? Like I sometimes feel like those water bottles. You see people have those water bottles that are supposed to be used 1,000 times in order to save the planet.
I think they're called Stanleys, aren't they?
Whatever they are. They're like trendy.
Yeah.
Everyone's got them. And sometimes I'll buy a thing thinking I'll use it a lot, and I use it once and I feel terrible, right? Or it sits in the cupboard, or it's like, and I can't throw it away because I'm like, oh man, this is a thing that I've only used once, and and so what I'm doing is, what this leads back to is things that you've used for many years,
yes,
that you've got good value out of, that are not like crap, not like single-use shit. Because you know what it's like? People like the world.
Can I?
I'm on a rant. Go on.
So
stop. Jump in.
This is 5 minutes to get to one question, and I instantly forgot what the question was. Can you? What was it?
I want you
years?
to shout out some stuff that you have, that you own, that has been good.
Okay.
Right? Good product.
Well, for any of the listeners that are still with us, let's do that. Let's say products that we've enjoyed having for years. My Le Creuset kettle and my Le Creuset pan, like a big Le
Creuset.
Le Creuset. You know them?
Le Creuset.
I don't think it's Le Creuset. Everyone says Le Creuset. Yeah, but everyone says Le Creuset. I'm sure it's
like
wrong.
Inspector Clouseau.
It's Inspector Clouseau. He comes and has a look at all your pots and pans.
Yeah.
Those last forever.
They're very middle class, aren't they? They're very fancy.
Yeah. But they're not that expensive. And to be honest with you, if you buy these, they will last you the rest of your fucking life. These things are built to last, which I love. I love shit that you're like, oh man. The other day we were using one of those like a thermos thing, but it's like for coffee. So what you're meant to do is fill it up with coffee, and then you can serve multiple people coffee. Mrs. F accidentally put it through the dishwasher without thinking, got a load of water in it. She was like, we're gonna have to chuck it. We've had this thing, this thing's been in the family since the 80s. And I found out you could just unscrew it, get rid of any water that was sloshing about. Bingo. This thing is like 1982. This thing is from.
Wow.
And it's still here. A nice.
What's
piece
the brand?
I can't remember actually.
It's gone long. It's long gone. This is a Crusoe.
You know that coffee pot we've got. What brand is it? Okay. Oh yeah. Thank you. So it's Tupperware.
Oh, classic. Classic
nice.
Tupperware,
not plastic.
Tupperware that was made in West Germany.
Oh.
So it's pre-fall of the Berlin Wall Tupperware. It's pretty cool.
It's just a plastic coffee pot.
It's extremely good.
Okay.
They don't make them like that anymore.
They don't make them like that
this is
anymore.
I typed in Le Creuset. The first thing that comes up is a 400-pound signature cast iron round casserole, which
there's
my
no
partner has
right.
and has had the same, looks exactly the same as this, and has had it for like 20 years.
How many casseroles per minute is that thing?
It gets used. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and also on the thermos thing, I bought them a Le Creuset thermos for Christmas, and they've used that like every day, and it's been great. Like
these products last.
Let's put that on the list.
I do this. You can put this thing in the oven. You can cook with it on the hob.
This shit is not made to be one single use.
Exactly.
Right? It's
so what are you using that's single use that you're wasting so much of?
He's just saying stuff like
this?
Takeaway and shit. He's saying
just mainly takeaways. I can't imagine that you're chucking out like appliances and.
It's been the same for hundreds of years, right? The people will pick the cheapest tender, right? Like we are conditioned to do it. When everyone goes to the shops, it's like I want to spend the least I have to spend on this. Even and in some cases, if it's the same thing, that's fine. You're looking for the cheapest version of that thing, great. But if the quality drops, then this is why so much like all of these knockoff shit on Amazon, and you buy like a sometimes stuff I've bought, like even from IKEA, has just been absolute shit quality, and it's lasted no fucking time at all.
Right.
And I think like you must have stuff that you've used for years and years hanging around that is like for example, I've got a Samsonite suitcase that I bought. It was incredibly fancy, which I bought. Must be
it's like one of those like plastic shell ones.
Yeah, it's the first time I ever went on holiday abroad or whatever.
Do you still have the same suitcase?
And I still use the same silver shell Samsonite suitcase. It cost me like 250 quid.
Yeah, they're good. They've got like a lifetime guarantee though.
I'm not even joking. And it's it's dinted up and it's scratched because it's been thrown around across the fucking whole world. But like I know some other people have gone through tons of them by now. I just want to shout out that that's a thing, a positive thing.
Okay. Well, when you just say it's hard
out?
to reuse them when they've stored dismembered bodies previously,
right? I see
they're kind of locked in at that point. I wouldn't.
Well, that's sort of recycling them, though. I feel giving them another use, so that's okay.
Yeah, maybe.
If you're using it as a coffin, that's fine.
Yeah, like a little coffin pod, like a little pod, body pod,
and make coffins out of wood. Right? Don't make them out of plastic.
They make them out of wood,
concrete, unless there's a reason. Unless you died of like radiation poisoning or
Jesus.
something.
You know who's obsessed with radiation poisoning?
Ozzy.
Is she?
Ozzy.
Yeah.
She's
genuinely. The first stream we ever did together, she said, so
she loves it.
Let's talk about radiation sickness. I was like,
she's full on to that grim
she
horror.
Loves it.
She loves the idea. I think it's because it's so real, right? It's not like magic or made up or fantasy nonsense. It's a genuine like sword of Damocles over the heads of us all.
Damn, I thought we were being positive this week. Shout out to Damocles.
Shout out to and Samson as well, because he was the guy the strong guy in the Bible, and he makes a good suitcase.
I think God was the strong guy in the Bible, dude. Come on.
Well, right. He was different. He wasn't like punching people or lifting rocks. Do you know what I mean?
Did Samson punch people? Was there a superhero arc in the Bible I missed? Samson and Lila, a 1949 film.
Yeah, he was fighting the Philistines, of course.
Samson
remember? Do you remember that bit of the Bible?
You know what? This is a genre of film they don't make anymore. Epic romantic biblical dramas.
They should bring those back.
Yeah.
Well, part of the reason is that you're not supposed to be, doing that before marriage, right? No romance before marriage.
This is Cecil B. DeMille did this. Samson and Delilah, a 1949 American epic romantic biblical drama. Budget 2.9 to 3 million. Box office 25.6.
Wow. It just shows there's an appetite for it. There's a market out there.
Yeah, there is.
Mel Gibson, get on it.
There's a market out there for some homegrown,
starring Hedy
Christian
Lamarr.
movies. Yeah,
Hedy Lamarr was born in Vienna. She was 85. She died She was born in 1914. Vienna. She died in 2000. Oh, damn, Hedy Lamarr, what a babe!
What a hottie!
What a babe!
I finished watching series 1 of White Lotus, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
It was real good.
There was some real really great standout moments in series 1.
Pooping in the suitcase, was that one of them?
Pooping in the suitcase, definitely one of them. Eating a dude's ass out was up there as well. I was not prepared, not ready for that. No, it was good. It was really nice. I like how short it is too. I like how the story just wraps up nicely at the end.
Yeah, there's no flannel.
Yeah,
it's like
and also there's no hangover of cliffhanger of like, we're going to be on this same holiday for the next 4 seasons. You know what I mean?
Yes,
it's like we're done.
I don't want to see those people ever again. Yeah, I'm glad that it just wraps up.
You only see one of them in the next series. Anyway, did you watch it with your wife?
Yes, I did. Yeah, she liked it. Yeah,
she enjoyed it. Good.
It's she's not mad into like sci-fi or anything kind of, like even Severance, she's just lost with it now. She's just like, I just don't really feel like watching it sort of thing.
Right.
But stuff like White Lotus, where it's like, people with nice character arcs and stuff like that. She's like, she's in for it. So it's good. It was, it was nice. Well, we'll start on season 2 soon. My
partner is the same about Severance. Like must be a really annoying person to watch it with, because we're like halfway through and I've like, we're watching an episode and I like pause it and I'm like, I ask her a question. She's like, I've got no idea what's going on. She was like,
yeah, I think you gotta be kind of interested in that sort of stuff. And by that stuff, I mean, like the slightly sort of like out there surreal kind of
the mind bending. You gotta have to have a mind. You're willing to have a mind that's bent without any kind of satisfying resolution. Right? That's where I am on Severance at the moment.
The bending of the mind.
I am accepting that my mind will be bent without a conclusion that makes me I have good understanding of the world.
I will say that the Severance season 2 was not my favorite season. I've realized there's only been 2.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to say, if that had been the first season, I don't think I would have been as into the show as I was. Yeah. Season 1 was so good. Season 2 was, at several points, Mrs. F turned to me and said, they better fucking start answering some questions, because it really did get a bit ridiculous. And I was like, yeah, I know, love. Like, this is getting a bit lost. You know what I mean?
All right, no, positive. We're positive. We're enjoying it. It's good.
Well, they did go some way in this season to genuinely answering questions that we had, having some cool moments. And I thought the finale episode kind of made up for a lot of the...
I'm glad you're being so careful with spoilers here.
I ain't saying shit.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it yet. I'll get around to it. I'm not like...
I'll finish it as well.
I'm not like hell-bent on watching it sort of thing, but I like season 1. I'm enjoying it. Season 2, I'm sure I'll like as well.
So hang on. So what's on my list? So Bose headphones, they've been great. Honestly, still using them after like 12 years. Like basically, I got these 2 things when I went away to like BlizzCon or whatever back in 2011.
Right.
And that suitcase and those headphones, I still use them like every day. What else do I love? I love avocados. Can we put those on the list of things that are great?
Big fan.
You can put whatever you want on there. I buy most of my clothes
from Uniqlo. Uniqlo. Shout out to Uniqlo. I think it's good. It might be slipping. I don't know. Maybe the quality. Maybe Samsonite shit these days. Maybe Bose has like gone into the toilet.
No, I don't think so.
12 years ago, those guys were fucking popping off.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a general thing though. It's like if you have a product that you like, and then for you, it's good.
Yeah, it makes me feel good when something gets good use out of it.
Yeah. You should write a review on on Amazon or something, I'm sure people would love to read
make that one anymore.
I fucking love Amazon reviews so much.
Oh, God.
Especially for like real dog shit products. The thing is, I feel like one of the things people don't realize is that a lot of these dog shit resellers, because a lot of the Amazon marketplace is just people, like we've said before, buying shit on Temu or AliExpress and then fucking boshing it on there at a slight markup, is that they will pay these companies to give them positive reviews. Like you can buy Chinese review farms that will just put positive reviews in. So a lot of the time you just can't believe what it says. But there's this product called Regain, which is supposed to help you grow hair.
Rogaine.
And no, this is Regain. This is called Regain. Extra strength.
So it's like knockoff Rogaine.
I assume. Not enough people are aware of the side effects. This is from Matt.
Right.
When I say not enough people, I'm including myself in this group. When I bought this product, it was somewhat of an impulse purchase. I was losing my hair and I was panicking about it. I knew if I did nothing about the hair loss, the situation wouldn't improve, so I turned to the internet to research potential products. This lad's written a fucking essay.
Oh, I think Rogaine has rebranded to Regain.
Oh, really? Makes more
sense.
And
it's called, it's still minoxidil. It's the same stuff. I know a few people who are actually on this regularly, and they've told me things about it. If you have a hair transplant, you're supposed to have this as well. And a few people go on, carry on reading though. Tell me more.
No. I mean, he just says that after he stopped using it, his hair loss accelerated.
Really?
Yeah. So I think the point is, as long as you're using it, it's like he's saying that it's just doesn't work the way people think. Like people think it's just going to stop stuff, but he's like, as soon as you stop using it, all his hair falls out. I imagine the day after he stops using it, he's just Homer Simpson instantly. This guy says it's expensive, long-lasting hair gel. Someone else's review just says poison in all caps. This is a poison. Sexual dysfunction, erectile dysfunction, low libido, mental health issues. FDA got millions of pounds from billionaires investors to approve this poison. Same like antidepressant drugs. You use once, now you have to use forever. Now we are repeating customers and patients to these billionaire drug mafia. That's this guy's review.
I fucking hate this
kind of base, honestly.
Fuck these stupid fucking unhinged people. Fuck off.
No. I kind of agree with that though. Do you know what I mean? Like, because this is those symptoms are exactly what the people I've spoken to who are on minoxidil have reported. And some people have said that, I mean, again, all I have for my own response here is people I've spoken to in real life. I'm not like to have scientific studies, but I think it has, you can't take a thing that fucks with your hormones and not expect it to like have side effects of some description, right? Like, and everyone's different. Everyone's bodies are different. Everyone's going to respond to this thing differently.
Yeah.
And I think that if you have to be very aware of what's going on in your own body when you take these things, because sometimes they can fucking be dangerous, for you. That's why the doctor says if this is causing weird side effects, stop taking it immediately. Like, you might just be the 1% on that stuff. I mean, be careful.
Here's
2 seconds. I'll be right back.
That's all right. Name a banal product. Something utterly banal.
The most banal product. Like fucking Windoline. It's basically just vinegar in water.
No. I'm talking about not like
false alarm.
Not something like that. Just imagine a thing in your house.
A spoon.
Well, that's a little too generic. Think of something else.
A candle. That's too fancy.
Candle? No, not a candle.
A notebook.
No.
My fridge.
Notebook. All right.
A banal product.
Yeah, like a notebook is
this podcast.
Very few people are going to leave a review for a notebook, right? But I guarantee you someone will leave a really negative review. Here's one. This is a notebook. We've got some reviews here. In fact, I might do this next time is find a bunch of funny reviews. Here's a 1-star review.
Right.
Too small. That's the headline. Too small.
Too small. Do you know what, though? I bought a notebook and it was too small.
Right.
It was like half the size I thought it was going to be. It was like one of those fucking scams.
Well, this just says the 1 star, too small and disappointing. I think you could get that on a t-shirt and sell it as Triforce merch.
That's what fucking she said. Yeah.
The elastic on this is too tight, resulting in the book constantly bent. I guess what you get, what you pay for. It was cheap. That's Debbie. Thanks, Debbie Hudson.
Thanks, Debbie.
Patricia, very disappointed. What other reviews has Patricia got?
Pay for. Well, not always.
Bag ripped apart before I could the chicken in. As you can imagine, unimpressed. That's another one of her reviews. Oh, wow.
They're very dumb. They're very dumb reviews.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is, if there's less of like 100 reviews on something, I assume most of those are fake or made up by the person selling the item.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
If there's like 5 reviews and one of them is like, this worked perfectly, all of my hair grew back.
Right.
Then it's like, clearly this is not a real fucking review, is it?
Exactly.
So no, have you got anything to shout out? Come on, guys, you must have things. I want you to be positive today. What are your favorite things? Think of things that you couldn't live without. Okay.
My computer, which I'm sitting at right now.
What about
God
it?
bless it. I wish it didn't crash so much, but
wow, that's not
recently. Good. But actually, you know what? It's been better. It's been better. Shout out to my computer, who's been crashing less more recently, immediately.
Are there any components that you like? Any brands that you use, like that you always like? They're your go-to. Have you got a mouse brand or a monitor brand that you like?
Not really. No, I'll just if it works, great. I'm not really.
Okay, you're not a loyal to one brand customer. No. You're just I'll fucking.
I don't
use
think
anything.
I'm really like that with anything. And actually thinking about it, I don't really buy that much stuff. Like I buy games on my computer to play, but I can't really think of anything that I like. I don't think I've ever bought a notepad before in my life. For example, talking about notepads,
I don't think I have. Apart from that one time I got one that was too small.
My kids get a lot of stuff, and like my wife buys a fair amount of stuff. Normally just for the kids and stuff. But me personally, I don't really buy that much stuff. I would never read a product review because I'm rarely ever shopping for anything. I just don't really buy a lot of stuff.
How often do you like, okay, let's use a friend of mine as an example who will not be Simon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Simon is he's not got, he's not that hard up. Okay. But for the last 2 years, he's been using a laptop where the W key on the keyboard broke.
Right.
Okay.
That's an important
So he swapped over to using ESDF instead of WASD.
Right.
So
instead of just getting the key repaired or
instead of getting a new keyboard, which costs, I don't know, 50 quid or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And so he is so used to this that it took him a long time to readjust because he would come in and play Minecraft in the office and stuff. And for a long time, he was just pressing the wrong keys because his hand was so used to being in a different place on the keyboard. And it didn't take time to relearn that. But that's him. I think that's partly him being, I can work around it. And I like things as they are, and I can't be asked because it's a big faff to get a new thing and order it in and all that crap, especially if it's a laptop keyboard.
Yeah.
Who do you get to fix that, or do you get a new laptop, or whatever the fuck, And so, but some people do it because they, almost like a challenge to themselves. Like I'm going to use this until it absolutely is fucked. And other people are just like, I can't be asked. But at what point do you make fix something? Are you a person who is proactively improving stuff, or are you like, I'm just going to leave this until it's literally falling down?
It depends. Like in that example, the keyboard, I would just order a new one. Immediately, I would order a new one.
That's literally what I did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Or maybe even a little more than that. I got a new keyboard. It's lovely. And my old one, which I loved, literally there were keys just falling off it. It just broke. And eventually one of the little, it's like a little sort of X that the key slots onto, snapped off. It's just through wear and tear. I use this keyboard a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of mashing buttons when I'm playing Dota and stuff. And one of the keys broke. So, you can't fix that. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And so I think that's fine. But I do tend to, if something's broken, it really annoys me. But there are things that I will have broken in the house for months and months and months and just work around until eventually I'm like, why haven't I fucking fixed this yet? For example, we had a fucking hole in our kitchen floor for the better part of 18 months. And it was like, we had a leak in the house. I'm sure I talked about this previously. The guy came and put a nozzle in our radiator and blew air through it with a bit of water, and it makes this kind of noise that you can hear. Found the leak. He knocks a hole in my wall. He knocks a hole in the floor. He fixes the leak. Great. But then he's like, I don't do repairs. And I was like, yeah, no, that's cool. But finding someone to come out and repair such a small task was almost impossible.
Yeah.
So I had no idea about this thing called Airtasker, which is like a website where you post a job and a price, and people will say, yeah, I'll give it a go. And we hired a guy.
And then
I know.
Some fucking guy. What kind of tasks can you post?
Anything.
Any old head of hair.
Yeah. Why do you always go to the bald things? Huh? You go to. It's like, I know.
No. It's because
you've got hair and I haven't. I get it.
I got an email. I told you this, that where a guy was like, you remember Mini Muka did a hair transplant, a brand deal. No. It was like his first brand deal in years, and he went off to Turkey to have a hair transplant.
I wouldn't do that.
I got an invitation for a hair transplant brand deal, and I didn't know how to feel about it. And also, why did they ask me out of all the other people in the Yogscast?
Are they not asking
what's
me?
Going on?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the baldest member of the Yogs, I would say.
Well, no, but they have to get it from somewhere. You have to have it. You can't. Can't be fully bald.
Now you made me forget what I was talking about. Fuck, what was I talking about?
You were talking about that air job thing. You posted a job on the air job.
So I went on Air Job, and I posted this, and I got immediately like 8 responses. Can you post a picture of the problem? Blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah. So I did that. And this lad gets in touch, young lad, and he's like, I'll do it. And I was like, I looked at his history. Simpsons. Yeah, he'd done like 5 jobs before, and I was like, yeah, sure, I bet this guy's fine. He comes out, and he's so young that he's shy even just talking. Do you know what I mean? And I said to him, how old are you? He's like, 20. And I was like, okay. And I said, where's your car? And he said, I got the bus. So he got the bus over, and I was like, well, I might not have all the tools you need. He goes, oh no, I've got the tools. I was like, okay. So he does the job. He does fine. But it's like 3 days. He has to come in and do stuff. He has to buy. He has to look and figure out what he needs to buy. Then he orders it, and I pay for it. And then we have to wait for it to arrive at the B&Q, go and pick it up. And I tell him it's not here yet, so he comes back another day. Finally, he does the job, and you just click job complete, and Airtasker, which has had the money in escrow, pays the guy. So it's like it's safe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, they agree to do the job, and there's no money up front. It's literally, but equally, I guess they're right there with you in the room, and you have to click OK, and then it goes through. So it's pretty good, and you can increase the amount or reduce the amount of money as you need. It was decent, but this lad, I mean, Jesus, we got him to do 3 things. One of them was to replace a dimmer switch, because I'm not an electrician. I'm not going to fuck around with electrics. Yeah. So replace the dimmer switch. He did that. It was fine. One of them was to fix his hole in the kitchen floor and retile it and fix the wall. He did all that. Fine. And the third one was to fix our shed door. Now, the shed door was broken for about 18 months. Not even that. Maybe a year. Because I had kicked the fuck out of it and destroyed the door.
Why did you do that? Were you angry?
No. Well, I wasn't. What happened was we had the door replaced, and the guy that did it didn't finish it and wouldn't finish it. He basically did it, and he was like, oh, yeah, I'll come next week. I never came again. I was like, fuck it, whatever. So I needed the door to open so I could take a load of rubbish from my garden out to the front, because this lad was coming to clear it all away. We had like a big garden clearance, a load of rubbish cleared out. And I couldn't open the shed door. And I was like, this guy's going to be here in 20 minutes. And I really thought I could just open the door, and I can't. So I just fucking kicked it until it broke, and then it opened.
Right.
Okay.
So there were bits hanging off it. And I was like, fuck.
This is a common thing to have as a homeowner, right?
Yeah, you just like...
You get locked out of something.
Yeah,
it's
you're like,
yours.
well, I this is my door.
I guess I'm smashing the door down now.
Like, I need to do this more than that. I'm just going to boot the door. So I tried to plane it down first so it would open. Didn't work, so I just fucking booted it. So this lad comes in. I was like, can you repair this door? He's like, oh, yeah, I can repair the door. If you get the lumber, I'll fix it. I was like, okay. So ordered the stuff, got everything. He does it, and he's like, there you go. And at first glance, I was like, oh, cool. He's actually fixed it. I was like, thanks. Finished the air task, off he goes. When I opened the door, there's so many nails just jamming out of everywhere. He's obviously tried to go through and like missed a bunch of times, and then bent the nail to conceal the fact that he's missed. It looks like the inside of an Iron Maiden is what my fucking shed door looks like now.
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, oh, God, I shouldn't have got this lad to do the door. Like, he did everything else fine, but he was like, yeah, I could do that. he couldn't fucking do it. But I couldn't hate him. He's like this young lad. He's literally just turned 20. I was like, man, fair play to him. And I said, where did you learn all this stuff? Oh, my dad taught me. I was like, well, your fucking dad didn't teach you about doors, did he, mate? But I didn't mention.
He's like living like he's like playing Contractville, but like IRL. He's just
he literally
he's doing all these little odd jobs and stuff.
I mean, is your dad free to fix this door?
That's what I should have said. Could you send your dad over to fix this door, please? But,
man, it's so hard with tradespeople. Like we're lucky because we're just off the back of a really big job where we've had all sorts of everyone in, but we've been able to use word of mouth from those people, which is the best way. Like you get somebody good, they're always going to recommend somebody good, or they'll know somebody good. So it's like 100%. It's a sure shot. But man, cold calling somebody out of like a directory or whatever,
it's so hard.
Holy shit, it is such a crap. You don't know what you're gonna get. And the other thing
is, I'm not being funny, but post Brexit, right? Not to get into politics, this is literally just the reality of it. It is genuinely harder to get plumbers, electricians, and all the rest of it because there just aren't as many.
Yeah,
like a lot of those guys have gone back to Poland and Romania and Latvia and all the rest of it. And so when you do try to get them, I've had them say, yeah, I'll come out tomorrow and we'll check it out. Never turn up. They get some other job. Or the amount you have to pay has gone up. The size of job, they don't take small jobs. They're like, it's too small. Not worth my time. I'll take a big job because there will be one.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts.
Yeah,
so
nuts.
Little jobs like I've got a relatively small hole in my kitchen floor. Can you fix it? And the problem was this was behind the fridge. So the fridge just had to be out from the wall literally for 18 months because I could not get anyone to come and fix this. And there's no way I'm fucking around with tiling the kitchen.
No, God, yeah.
So it was just like...
Why didn't you just cover it up with a bit of plastic bag, and just hide it?
A bit of plastic bag.
Yeah, just sellotape some plastic bag over there.
How's that going to support the fridge? The fridge is resting on this thing. Like it's the corner where the fridge goes. That whole corner was just fucked.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right. Well, maybe you could have gotten like a wooden base for it or something that you sit the whole thing on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
When you're a homeowner, you can come at me with this shit, right?
How did he fix it? Did he fill it with like rubble and stuff or what?
Rubble? I didn't get the Flintstones in to repair it.
I didn't. I don't know. Is it like a sinkhole? I'm not sure how big it is.
What are you imagining? Describe to me what's happened.
That house in Fallout 4 with the crater underneath it.
Hole.
The death claw living in the cave.
It's like a cave down there.
Yeah, but I'd love to. You turn up on Airtasker and it's like, there's a hole in my kitchen floor. Yeah, we'll get some rubble down there. That will fill it in. It was so. Imagine that beneath the kitchen floor, that there's all the joists and all the rest of it, and all the foundation for the floor. And then there's like an air gap before you get to the ground. And that's where the brick foundations of the house and everything are. There's like a slight gap. So when the lad smashed through the floor, what he essentially did was he went through the tile and then he went through the whatever board, like the plasterboard or whatever that was there as the base of the floor and the insulation. So it was like a proper smashing. And what it needed to do was have some kind of plank or board put onto the supporting joists beneath the floor. And then that needed to be made good on top. And then that needed to be retiled on top. Okay. And then the wall, that it also had a hole knocked in it, that's plasterboard. That needs to be repaired. So you need to cut out the smashed bit and repair it, secure it in place.
What kind of tile do you have in your kitchen? Like ceramic tile?
Yeah, it's like a big tile.
Right. Okay.
It's like quite a large tile. So you needed to also cut the tile to fit the holes. I don't know how to do any of that shit.
No, yeah.
So he did it. I mean, if it's small tiles, you can do that thing where you just score it and snap it, essentially, and then file off any loose edges. But these are like big tiles. These things are big. It's like a piece of A3 fucking paper.
Yeah. We used to have like hard ceramic tiles in our kitchen, but the people...
Well, now you have soft tiles. Soft, bouncy tiles.
Well, kind of, yeah. There's like that Amtico, like the vinyl stuff. It looks like big ceramic tiles, but it's but there's like a latex self-leveling thing underneath, and then they just lay that tile. It's like a click sort of thing. They just lay it on top of that, so it's pretty hard wearing. It's good, like because we found with the hard tiles, the hard ceramic tiles. The people who put them down before we bought the house and moved in didn't do it properly. And one of the tiles snapped at the corner. So there's like this really sharp bit sticking out. Like it was like there was like some movement, or they didn't put enough adhesive or whatever at the bottom. And it was just a mess. But then to get it redone was a fucking mess as well, because they had to come in, they had to like jackhammer like all the fucking tiles out. They had.
Did it always, like, all of these jobs are always a mess. Fucking mess.
And then underneath the tiles was like old kitchen flooring that had just been laid directly onto the foundation of the house.
Yeah, so, but this like concrete, and then that straight on top.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
And so it was like, instead of bringing it up, they were like, we're just going to put the self leveler over it because it's this really thick liquid that, and when it sets, it's like hard. It's basically like having a layer of concrete, but it gets into all the little cracks and stuff.
Oh yeah,
and it's perfectly flat. Like it's incredible stuff.
Put your liquid foundation deep into my cracks.
But so underneath all that is fucking old tiles from like the 1970s, like that had been over tiled, and it's a mess.
The issue that we had was that we got these lovely big tiles when we had the kitchen redone, but because it was a lot of work and like new foundations and everything, there's a bit of settling time when the house literally creaks and groans and settles and wobbles a bit, and then is like, whoosh, and sort of settled back down after the work.
Yeah.
Because when you put this kind of like new floor and new foundations, it's not just locked in place. There's movement. There's always movement.
Yeah, well, and especially wood. Like we've had the same thing in our loft. We had the walls were all plastered, like like a wet plaster, not like dry lining. So they plaster over the whole wall. But then the wall that they plastered connected to basically another little wall, but it was just like MDF because it's like the very ends of the roof, like the cornery bits. Yeah. They often just sort of square those off and make them into like a little crawl space. So it's like a little bit of extra storage sort of thing. But so where this MDF meets the plastering, it's moved. So all the painting, everything's cracked and it looks like shit. So I have to get somebody back in to basically fill it and put some tape and repaint over it.
The thing with us was because the tiles are big, as the house settled, they cracked.
Yeah.
Like, so there's like a hairline crack running through some of these tiles. Oh. It's okay. I mean, you can live with it.
It's annoying, but if there's any movement, like you can like slice your toe on it and stuff, like with like hard tiles.
You could. I mean, but this isn't so that annoying. Bad. Like it's more like a literal hairline.
Yeah.
If you get down and look, you can see a line through the tiles. But it was just literally where the house moves. It's all this kind of shit you don't notice if you rent somewhere. You're only there a year or two. Hopefully, and then maybe you got to get a new place, and you sort of notice there's a couple of things busted, but you're not going to fix them, and you don't really care about some brickwork on the outside. Once you've got a house, you're checking the pointing on shit and like, that pointing's looking a bit bad. Oh, we might have to get new flashing on the roof. You notice all of this shit.
Well, you notice it because the thing is, small problems always turn into big ones. So
buddy.
when you own a house, you notice something small, you're like, right, I have to get that fixed because if I leave it, it's going to be a fucking nightmare. And
do you know what?
Oftentimes it does become one.
It does, but there's a house on my road, and I walk past this bit of their outer brick wall, and I can see this white bloom on the brick, and that is water damage.
Yeah,
because the water gets into the brick, and any minerals or any salt that's stuck in the brick pops out and dries on the surface, and I can see that there's discoloration on these bricks. And every time I walk past a house, I hope that I have the courage to knock and say, I'm sorry to be a pain. I'm not a builder, but you've got water damage.
Sorry to be that guy. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
Come with me and look at this brick damage. But I'm genuinely tempted to do it.
Because there's a guy. Hi, I can fix that. Water damage.
Yeah, send him round.
Do
them a service. Post up a job saying I need to fix this water damage on my bricks, and then send that young lad over there. Like as a surprise.
I don't think I'd send him. I trust him on floors. I trust him on light switches. I don't trust him on bricks and doors. I don't know anything. I don't know how he's doing with that.
So, actually, interestingly, this is a part of the lose news. We can transition over.
Let's lose.
Let's lose ourselves in news.
Lose yourself in the newsment.
After complaining for the better part of the last 2 years that Gen Z grads are difficult to work with, right? Which fits into the bracket of that young man.
Yeah.
Bosses are starting to fire them instead. So 6 out of 10 employers in the US have said that they have already begun sacking some freshly hired Gen Z workers.
Why?
After experiencing a raft of problems. And 1 in 6 bosses says they're hesitant to hire college grads again.
Wow.
So this is just old men saying young men have or young women have no have a lack of motivation or initiative.
I wonder if that's because they get paid shit.
It's almost like these jobs are all fucking boring and don't pay very well.
The jobs suck and they get paid shit.
Gen Z is unprofessional, disorganized, and having poor communication skills. So I don't know. This has always been the case, hasn't it? It's not.
Fuck you boomer cunts.
This is not news. Sure. Well, there you go.
That's loose news.
That's loose news. No, all right. There's loads more. Jeff Bezos, famous cunt, is sending Katy Perry into
the moon.
Space.
Oh, are you serious? I thought it was a joke.
No, it's
don't send my beloved Katy Perry into space, Jeff. What's happening? Is he bringing her back? I fucking love Katy Perry.
Of course, she's gonna come back.
It's an all-women squad going on the 11th flight.
This doesn't seem very current America to me.
It's sending up his fiance as well, Lauren Sanchez.
This is his America. He's rich enough to have his own private American bubble. He's just unaffected. Dude, he's just going to send Katy Perry into space.
A bunch of women on a spaceship? That sounds like some DEI space initiative.
Wow. Shut that shit down.
They're sending goddamn women into space. That's bullshit. Send men into space.
So we didn't do it last week, so I've got some from last. I think this is a bit old anyway. Apparently the Super Nintendo, the
Super Nintendo Chalmers,
yes, games console, they have been running slightly faster than they did 35 years ago. It's something to do with the crystal or something in the clock speed. I don't know. People aren't sure why, but apparently it's relevant for speedrunners, right? Who are still playing games.
Are you serious?
What, like they play these games still on the consoles? They emulate them, no?
No. You've got to do it on the original. The emulation will always be different. And I think a lot of the speedrunners are like, this is emulated, so it's not like
it doesn't count. It has to be on the original hardware.
Yeah, but there's variance, isn't there? There's a bit of variability with emulation. If it's the actual original hardware, we know that there's a baseline where it's all the same. You can do emulated runs, but I think in general the actual hardware,
the old consoles are running faster.
As in the tick rate is higher on these things.
So apparently it's got a 24 megahertz AP. There's some sort of thing that's people have been testing it, and the sample rate should be 32,000 hertz, but actually it's closer to 32,100, with some of them running even faster, which is not.
It's inconsistencies, though, right? In a field that needs to be very consistent. Yeah. Can't afford.
There was a guy putting his SNES in like a freezer to run some tests and see. I don't know. It's quite fun. People are. The Super Nintendo is my growing up console. I'm kind of.
I loved it when I got mine. I loved it so much.
I'm very affectionate for.
I still remember how excited I was to play Super Mario World for the first time.
Oh my god!
And it was so good too.
What a game!
God, it was such a great game.
What a game!
Just joy. Just pure joy.
A cat in Plymouth named Mischief has gone viral on social media after a woman shared the absolute mayhem he has caused across the city.
Oh, there's have you seen this cat? People will post locations of what he did.
Yes.
Yeah. I love this guy.
He's like a black and white cat that has been doing all sorts of stuff. He just went to a vet on his own. He's been around the various parts of the town, including school.
He's just running errands.
As church, post office. He went into a Ladbrokes and made a bet. I don't know. There's a bunch of random stuff. And it's very British and very adorable. So yeah, I'm sure you've seen that if you've been on social media. Amazing.
He just literally gets all over Plymouth. I know Plymouth quite well. I went to university there. I lived there for 3 years. And this cat gets everywhere. Pubs. He gets into the naval base. He gets into people's houses, police stations. He just literally goes everywhere. Gets into a Morrison's. He falls asleep on the counter where people are trying to pay. He's sleeping on a pool table in a student building. He's in a college common room. He's in a Juicens. He's in a train station. He's just
very sociable. He just wants to get around. Yeah. He just wants to meet new people and sleep in new places and stuff.
I mean, this lad sees Plymouth as his entire domain. He's just going to wander about. And I just think it's fascinating that this cat has just literally taken it upon himself to explore the entirety of Plymouth. There are plenty of residents of Plymouth that don't know Plymouth as well as this cat does. I'm telling you.
He knows all the alleyways. He's an alley cat.
This alley cat's a goddamn alley cat. So hold on a minute. I saw him in Marston's. So I saw him in the library. He was in a library last week. He can't read. What's he doing in there?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Former President, actually.
Speaking of
former President Slow Bright. That's
me. Speaking of animals in shops, CCTV has recorded shoplifters using pythons to distract a cashier before stealing $400 worth of CBD oil from a petrol station.
Man, there was a guy on the news the other day who stole like 3 boxes of 50 Cadbury's cream eggs and was shoving them into his coat and was arrested and banned from going into a Morrison's ever again.
Right, yeah.
Banned for life from Morrison's. What a
I like cream eggs enough, but I mean,
I don't like them.
I wouldn't sacrifice so much for a couple of boxes of cream eggs.
Yeah.
I was walking through Bristol town centre, and this guy came sort of hurrying out of Next, and like the doorway beeper thing. It started beeping. He obviously triggered something.
Beep beep,
and that beeping made him speed up, and then he started sort of running. And there was some local security there, and they obviously just yelled at him stop straight away. And it was like, wow, I was impressed by how quickly they were responding. And they started chasing him. There were 2 of them, and he turned and saw them, and he just threw from under his shirt the thing he'd stolen, which was a pink dressing gown, like a woman's nighty dressing gown thing. Damn. He threw that on the floor and just ran off around the corner, and they didn't chase him any further. But I could see the whole, as I walked through the rest of Bristol, I could see more security people kind of coming, almost like they'd called
for backup.
Yeah, and so they were all coming to the place.
They were closing the net. They were triangulating.
Yeah. But I mean, he was long gone. But I mean, it's he wasn't really running that fast. But I thought a couple of things. The first thing I thought was, look, I don't know why people steal things like that. Maybe he's hard up and he needs a present for someone or whatever. Or maybe he's a pervert. God knows what. Right?
Maybe he was shopping with his wife and he got so bored that he had to steal and run out of the store and cause a big commotion just to get out of there.
This is it. Maybe it was some distraction to some other crime, right?
You never know.
And he was deliberately just pulling everyone to him. Because it felt so bad, the way he was so nervous and ran out and started running and stuff. Surely you just act like you belong. You just steal the thing, you walk out, it beeps, you go, oh, and then you just walk off. But I think if he hadn't been kind of hurrying and rushing and looking around as if he was the guiltiest man on the planet, he looked like a kind of comic book shoplifter. I don't know whether that's just what people are actually like, or whether he's just a dumbass. But it made me start to think that conspiracy theory idea of it has to be something more. It's there's a bank heist going on, and he's distracting all the mall cops over to him.
A lot of this comes up, and you just think, I don't know if people are smart enough to do all this stuff.
I think Occam's razor, right? It's probably
always
just a dumb
always
guy.
The simplest explanation.
You know that Occam's razor, right? There's a whole bunch of movies where people explain what Occam's razor is. It's obviously these writers discovered Occam's razor and they fucking put it in every fucking movie. And it's you don't need to explain Occam's razor at this point. We've all fucking heard it. It's been in every fucking movie. I tell you, watch a movie, and if Occam's razor comes up, some fucking idiot has to have the line, "What the fuck is Occam's razor?" And then some guy's meant to be clever, is meant to explain what Occam's razor is. We fucking know what Occam's razor is. Shut up. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's a very common thing. Look, I didn't know what to do, and it was almost like, I know sometimes when this stuff happens in front of people, there is a bystander effect where you just kind of feel like you're watching telly, right? And you don't realize, it doesn't feel I guess I see stuff like this all the time. Sometimes people are in a fight, or someone gets mugged, or Anyway, let's do the next one. So I've got more stuff.
Hit me. Not literally, figuratively hit me.
Hit him with a rhythm stick.
Volkswagen, their best-selling product is not a car. Have we done this news before? I feel like I've So I feel like I know this already.
Say it.
What is their best-selling product, Volkswagen? Think.
Is it car related?
No.
Oh, I have no idea then. I just thought they did cars. And maybe
it is a sausage. They make a bratwurst, I think.
What? They make bratwursts?
They make VW branded sausages.
No
which sold,
way. Volkswagen sausages.
8.5 million.
The Volkswagen currywurst.
So
it's a brand of sausage made by Volkswagen since 1973 at the Wolfsburg Volkswagen plant. Sold in restaurants. You'll find this
like...
What?
I went to buy a new pepper grinder the other day, and I noticed that there's Peugeot make them.
Right.
The car company.
Sausages.
No, the pepper grinders.
They make pepper mills.
Oh.
But it's not uncommon for big multinational corporations to have something they also make in-house, sometimes just for them. Do you know what I mean? Maybe the Volkswagen sausage, yes, they sell 8 million a year, but I think it's mostly used up in their cafeteria.
Yeah, I would have
company
thought
barbecues,
something like that. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
All right, here's the deal according to Wikipedia. Okay, the sausage is branded as Volkswagen Original Teal Volkswagen Original Part under part number 199398500A. It's listed as a part because obviously they make it at a plant. So they sell them in the 6 German factories in the canteens, like you said. You can get them in supermarkets, and they're sold at football stadiums, presumably ones that have either Volkswagen sponsorship or because Germans love sausages, they bosh them in all the Bundesliga teams' stadiums. So they have made more sausages than cars, but it's much easier to make a fucking sausage than a car.
Yeah. And also, it's
a lot
pretty
easier
close.
to eat a sausage than it is to eat a car.
They sold 8 million sausages, but 5 million cars.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's way more impressive. Yeah. Like, all right, 8 million sausages. I mean, Jesus, who cares? That's a silly fact. I'm annoyed by that. Next.
A silly fact, but it's fun. New Zealand's entire public health department has apparently been running on a single Excel spreadsheet.
Oh my god!
Which is quite good. If it works, it works.
That's a hell of a macro. That
must be a big one.
Whoever wrote that macro.
Yeah, I don't find that too much of a problem.
Wait.
Although I guess the entire public health department does sound.
What
bad.
is the population of New Zealand?
47.
Like 47 million? Probably?
No, it's tiny. I think it's like 3 million, isn't it? I think it literally might be 3 million. It's a very small country. Let's have a look. Population is at the 2023 census. 2025. They reckon 5.4. Right. So it's really not a big country.
Is that excellable?
I see what you mean. Can they have 5 million rows? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Max rows XL.
Depends
XL
which version.
Says, oh gosh, maximum number of rows per worksheet is 1,048,576.
Oh, right. So
there's a couple of people
have got multiple pages.
Oh, per page.
Yeah, that's per
I'd be
worksheet.
interested to see how they separate out the pages to get everybody lumped in. You know, like this.
Well, you do it by age.
I suppose.
Babies,
yeah,
they get a page.
Babish,
and then the next page, and then babish, and then when it gets to the bottom of the page, when the age gets to a certain point, the macro moves it to another sheet, and you just filter everything through like that. That would be a system.
Oh my god!
Oh, but this is how they got all that bogus stuff about all those people being on Social Security who were 150 years old or whatever. And it was all bogus because that's if they didn't have an age, they would just put in as it would default to 150.
It's people is stupid. Next.
If they didn't have the name. Yeah. Irish police have spent 2 years searching for a criminal who does not exist. Apparently, there was a notorious reckless driver who crossed the country, stacking up numerous speeding fines.
This sounds like a Seinfeld episode.
Yeah, it does.
Somehow managed to avoid the law. And his name, he was stopped many times, giving a different address each time he was caught. See if you can figure this out. So he was stopped like 50 times across the country.
Right.
He gave a different address every time. And every time he was put in under his name, Praro Jadsky. Oh my God, I cannot read Polish at all.
See
if you can read this.
Post it into the
It's like a really simple name. I'll post it in general. This name.
Pravo Jazdy.
Pravo Jazdy.
What do you think?
I reckon that means something like private driver or something like that.
Correct. And it means driving license.
Right.
So obviously the police would write down their name, Pravo Jazdy, write down their address, and he just started getting so many
I'm assuming these are all different people.
Yes, of course. So basically, every time a Polish person was stopped in Ireland, their name was accidentally written down as Pravo Jazdy.
Oh, it's because they'd look at the driver's license.
Exactly.
And where it says driver's license, it says Pravo Jazdy, and they just thought, oh, that must be his name.
Be his name.
Wait, it's the Pravo Jazdy? You're coming with us?
Oh, man.
Number one most wanted. Most dangerous criminal. That's great.
That is funny.
Nice.
A director has been arrested after spending $17 million budget for a failed Netflix show on crypto, sports cars, and divorce fees.
That is amazing.
That's incredible.
Is it Steven Spielberg? Is it Netflix, Steven Spielberg?
Yes, it is Steven. How did you guessed it correctly? It is Steven Spielberg.
Oh my God. Could you imagine?
He's broke.
Netflix originally paid $70 million for the series during a competitive bidding war for the 47 Ronin director. So he directed 47 Ronin.
That's a Keanu Reeves movie, I think.
The project was titled White Horse and was aiming to tell the story of a scientist who invents a human-like species that turns against their creators. I mean, it's pretty formulaic stuff.
Is this Carl Rinch? That's his name, Carl Rinch. He's my age.
What? So what did he waste all of his money on? Divorce fees, crypto, and what was the other thing?
Crypto, cars, 2 mattresses, failed stocks, just nonsense, really.
This dude could be looking at a very long time in prison.
Yeah, well, it's basically he bought 5 Rolls Royces and a Ferrari. Good Lord, that is
so.
Here's 90 years in prison.
Yeah, here's his indictment. He was arrested in L.A. and indicted in the Southern District of New York in relation to the Netflix project, charged with 1 count each of wire fraud and money laundering, each of which carries a maximum of 20 years, and 5 counts of engaging in monetary transactions in property derived from specified unlawful activity. It's a catchy name. In violation of the Money Laundering and Control Act, each of which carries a maximum of 10 years. And according to an unsealed 12-page FBI indictment, he's accused of using $11 million that Netflix gave him. That's crazy.
So he'll be the Secretary of Commerce in like 2 weeks, probably.
Yeah, Trump is like, I think he's a great guy. It would have been a great show. It's my birthday. It's my birthday on 2 days' time.
Happy birthday!
Well,
thank you.
Congratulations. So you won't be the same age as that director going to prison anymore.
I'll be 49.
You got so much time to buy up a bunch of crypto and failed stocks and
get yourself
a divorce and then buy a bunch of cars.
With all the Triforce money.
Yeah. I really do. It's all there.
You got like 2 days.
You feeling
I am
frightened?
Yeah. No, I'm just feeling like very tired all the time. That's what 49 feels like. Just old and tired.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I mean, part of it is I've got a cold.
Right.
But it's okay.
No, you weren't too tired to kick in your shed door, though.
Yeah, well, that's
kick it to smithereens.
I literally pounded it to smithereens. People in my road were looking. I was like, just kicked the door in.
And they can talk about it on their podcast.
Yeah.
I saw this crazy old guy kicking in his shed.
Smashing up his own house.
He just sort of yells.
He just smashes up his own
expletives out of the window about Daff and people and Joe.
Really interested in planes flying overhead as well.
Sex-crazed monkeys high on sugar have invaded a town. Now, again, this is an article from The Sun, so it could be bollocks.
Right.
An army of sex-crazed monkeys are terrorizing a town after indulging in buffets of sugary drinks and snacks. Business owners on the streets of Lopburi, Thailand.
Indulging in buffets of sugary drinks and snacks.
Indulging. Dare I do.
Oh, go on then. One more bonbon for the road.
One more sugary snack. Just one more sugary snack. I'm feeling very indulgent today. Indulgent, yeah.
This is the result of feeding them sugar provided to an annual festival. I don't know if sugar really does this.
What is this festival? The Monkey Sugar Festival? They've been attacking photographers. There's a yearly festival, called the Monkey Fest.
Oh, the Monkey Buffet Festival.
No, it's not. I would 100% go to the Monkey Buffet Festival.
It's called
just to see what the fuck
Ape
is
Out! Sugar Adventure.
Okay, this is again a man-made thing. So basically what happened was these monkeys in the place were a major tourist draw.
Yeah.
So popular that an annual Monkey Buffet Festival was introduced and has been going for 30 years.
Wow.
For decades, holidaymakers have flocked to the city to watch the monkeys gorge themselves on fruit and vegetables. At the festival, 100,000 spectators watch monkeys fill their bellies with 2 tons of food. However, it has caused this massive population boom.
What, in the
monkeys,
people or the monkeys?
In the monkeys.
Oh, I thought the viewers of the festival were breeding.
Ever since, when the COVID-19 pandemic hit and the without the usual mountain of food to keep them fed, the monkeys went feral and began attacking locals.
Oh my God.
To keep them away, people threw out junk food, including sweet soft drinks, fruit drinks, chocolate and cereal, but this only made them more violent.
Jesus.
They are now, listen to this, the thousands of animals are now so invigorated that they're stealing cars and causing chaos on the roads.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's like fucking GTA Thailand.
God, that sounds amazing. I just love the idea of people running around. Like, this is the thing. When you live alongside actual animals like monkeys, not just squirrels and pigeons, you got to be careful. Shit gets very real very quickly.
I saw a video of a monkey attacking like a baby, and the parents were like trying to kick it away and stuff, but it was they're fast and unpredictable. You know, like
they're strong.
Yeah, they're pretty strong too. Like you would.
That baby's like a Capri Sun.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Capri Sun.
Yeah, he wanted to drink the baby.
Well, exactly. Fucking get in there. Right. Well, that is our podcast for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much
for joining us.
Cheers.
We will be back next week.
Yeah.
With more.
Yeah.
See you then.
Why not?
And a new positive attitude.
Yes.
Hey, this was a good episode.
This was so positive.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.